Hey everyone, and welcome to Empowered by Self-Love, the podcast. My name is Jessica Fuentes, and I am a certified professional coach. I will be here every Saturday talking about transformation. How to transform those difficulties you encounter throughout your life into lessons. How can you transform that victim mindset into one of opportunity and growth? If you want to transform your life, the key is to learn and realize that you have everything you need within yourself. If you are looking for a safe place to find inspiration, motivation, and the tools to become empowered, then this is the podcast to listen to. This podcast is brought to you by my website, Empowered-SelfLove.com. Thank you for joining me every Saturday, and I want to thank you all for listening every week. Thank you for your support and for making Empowered by Self-Love, the podcast, part of your Saturday routine. I am extremely thankful and grateful for your warm welcome. My hope is to bring you the tools that enriches your life and that helps you become more empowered. So thank you for sharing with your friends and family, and let's continue to spread the knowledge and the inspiration. In this episode, I will be talking about the lessons life teaches us. Thank you for joining me today. Happy Saturday to everyone. I wish for all of you to feel well, energetic, and ready for today's topic. So today, I will be talking about lessons because life brings us lessons every day, and those lessons are there to teach us. So why not talk about them? Life is an ongoing journey filled with lessons that shape who we are. And these lessons often, very often, come through challenges and sometimes through overwhelming experiences. However, it is precisely through these trials that we get to grow and develop our characters. The concept of life as a series of learning experiences is beautifully encapsulated by various thinkers throughout history. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." So even though sometimes it feels overwhelming, life is constantly presenting us with lessons. We experience situations that are difficult, but these are necessary for our growth and for the building of our character. We're constantly learning. We came to this life to learn and to grow our souls. I am a true believer in that concept. Have you ever felt that your experiences are similar amongst each other and you wonder why you keep finding yourself in those situations? I have come to realize that we are constantly exposed to similar situations because we need to learn the lesson that situation in particular is presenting to us. If we don't learn the lesson, then it will continue to repeat until we do. And this can happen in every aspect of our lives, professionally, romantically, with our family, with our friendship, any type of relationship. And also when our patience is tested. Professionally speaking, you can experience frustration and don't realize that the frustration you're feeling is actually telling you something. It's information. And you have to find out why it is that you are feeling frustrated and then take action in that regard. You could also be experiencing professional abuse with a toxic coworker or even a toxic manager. And if you find yourself in that situation, and I'm not saying a random moment, but it's instead something that's constant, a constant behavior, then you need to do something about it because it's not fair for you. And these decisions are not easy. They are tough. These are tough decisions. but they are very, very necessary, and eventually they will be very liberating, even empowering. As I have been saying throughout my podcast, establishing boundaries and speaking up can be very liberating. The entire process you are experiencing in that aspect of your life, in the professional aspect, has a lesson you need to learn. Steve Jobs said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. So, I will give you a scenario here to show you how professional frustration can turn into an opportunity for growth. In this scenario, Maria is facing constant frustration at work because she's been giving unreasonable deadlines and lack of support from her team. So she realizes that her frustration is a signal that something is fundamentally wrong with her current work environment. And she decides to communicate her concerns with her manager. During the conversation, she establishes clear boundaries about what is achievable and what is not. She also mentions the manager that she needs additional resources, such as a team support, somebody from the team to support her, for her to better manage the amount of workload that she has on her plate. As a result, Maria learns that advocating for herself and setting healthy boundaries are crucial for maintaining a sustainable and positive work environment. And that didn't affect her professional development. On the contrary, her manager understood and agreed with her suggested ideas to manage the workload. So this example tells you that you might be fearful to come up to your manager, to your boss, to express your concerns, to speak up about what you find to be frustrating, because you are showing interest in your job. You're showing interest in wanting to complete the task that was assigned to you or the project. And the manager, if he's a good manager, he will see your interest. The fact that you're bringing up a frustration with solutions shows that, okay, I am overwhelmed and you need to know this, but I have a couple of suggestions on how this could work out better for me and for the company. When you look out after the company's well-being, when you verbalize your concerns with your manager, and when you compromise with you providing alternative solutions to better manage your workload, you're showing that you care. And the manager, if he's a good manager, will see this. So another way we get to learn lessons here is when our patience is tested. Perhaps you're not too patient. And trust me, that is when life will expose you the most to situations in which you need to keep yourself calm and be patient. It is ironic, but it is the way it works. I mean, it is the only way it makes sense. Otherwise, why will we be constantly exposed to these situations? So, if patience is what life wants you to learn, then you must learn how to breathe and keep yourself calm in difficult situations, even when that idiot cuts you off in the expressway. The truth is that everyone is enduring their own personal situations. You only know your side of the story, not the side of the story of the other people. So be patient. Joyce Meyer said, patience is not simply the ability to wait. It's how we behave while we are waiting. Now, another scenario to show an opportunity of growth in relation to learning to be patient will look similar to this one. Betty frequently loses her patience in traffic, especially when other drivers don't follow the traffic rules. And as a result, she has a very stressful commute. I wonder, maybe Betty lives in Miami? Or maybe LA? Now, when Betty realizes and understands that these situations are out of her control and her reactions are causing her unnecessary stress upon herself and in her daily life, She then decides to practice deep breathing exercises and mindfulness techniques to stay calm during her commute. She also starts to listen to calming music or educational podcasts to make the experience more enjoyable. Now, Betty realizes that practicing patience not only reduces the stress that she is experiencing, but also turns a negative experience into an opportunity for personal growth and even learning. So, yeah, I am sure that most of us here listening have experienced a lot of stress and lack of patience when we're in traffic. Traffic could be a very stressful place to be. But if you need to be there, then make the best out of it. Make the best out of it. You have no other choice. You have to be there and you're stuck in there. Well, why not make the best out of it? So, I don't know, play music that cheers you up. Or if you are too stressed out, just breathe, play relaxation music for 5 minutes, and then put on a podcast. Those things are very helpful and they switch the mindset and the focus. Now, in another type of situation, if you find yourself constantly in relationships in which you tend to tolerate more than what you should, then perhaps the lesson to learn is to value yourself. Some people don't fall for this type of relationships, and that's wonderful. But for those who actually do, and for those who find themselves in this type of relationships, unfortunately, there is a difficult realization here, and that is that the problem is not the people who disrespect you. The problem really is in your allowance of the constant disrespect. You can love somebody and still establish boundaries and still love yourself over the mistreatment. One thing should never be given without the other. If you don't do it to others, if you don't hurt, if you don't cheat, if you don't disrespect, then why is it okay for others to do that on you, to act like that upon you? Why is it okay for you to accept it from others? If you find yourself being constantly talked down, disrespected, mistreated, then you have to work on your self-esteem. And that is probably your lesson to learn, not only in romantic relationships, but also with family and friends, and even in professional relationships. Dan Coppersmith said, "The only way to truly love yourself is to allow yourself to be you without any judgments." So, if you're being judged inside a relationship, or if you're judging yourself due to the actions of another person, you're not showing too much self-love to yourself. So be as truthful as possible to yourself. I'm going to bring another scenario to show you an opportunity to learn and grow in a relationship that is related to this self-worth in relationship example. So Lisa notices a pattern in her relationships where she tends to tolerate a lot of disrespect and a lot of mistreatment from her partners. And these type of relationships have led her to a very unhappy life. She sits down with her thoughts and she becomes aware that this pattern is a reflection of her own lack of self-worth and the need to establish stronger and personal boundaries. As a result, she decides to start working on her self-esteem through counseling and self-help resources such as books, and then she learns to establish boundaries and to communicate her needs effectively in her future relationships. So, what is Lisa's lesson here? She discovers that valuing herself and setting boundaries are essential for forming healthy and respectful relationships. She understands that self-love is the foundation of any meaningful connection. So every experience that we encounter has a purpose in our lives and therefore a lesson behind it. So pay attention. You must pay attention and be open to learning. Every day is a new day and you have the opportunity to grow. But in order for you to grow, you need to be willing to do so. Some lessons are more difficult than others. And some lessons continue to show up, maybe like that one with Lisa, that her relationships are constantly abusive, if you think about it. There might be a root cause behind it all. So it sometimes it's not that easy. You have to go deep and find the root cause of why is it that you are tolerating certain things. What values are being aligned to you tolerating? The point here is that in the long term, these experiences are presenting to your benefit. It is to no one else's benefit but yours. So be on the lookout and learn as much as you can. Don't judge yourself. Just learn. Learn more about yourself. Try to understand the root cause of your behavior, of your acceptance. Abraham Lincoln said, in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. So the 5 takeaways from today's episode. Number 1, repeated lessons. We often encounter similar situations continuously and repeatedly because we haven't yet learned the lesson they are trying to teach us. Number 2, professional growth. Frustration and toxic environments at work are signals that you need to take necessary actions for your well-being and your professional growth. Number 3, patience. Life challenges us to develop patience through repeated exposure to trying situations such as stupid traffic, urging us, you and me, to maintain calmness and composure. Number 4, self-value in relationships. If you find yourself constantly tolerating mistreatment in relationships, that signals a need to establish boundaries and work on your self-esteem. Number 5, purposeful experiences. Every experience, even the most challenging ones, serves a purpose and holds a lesson, essentially for our growth and our development. Life experiences carry invaluable and treasured lessons. They may come wrapped in the hardships and challenges that we face, but they shape our character and personal growth. Every situation, whether in our personal lives, our professional lives, or moments of testing patience, brings valuable lessons that once you learn them, these opportunities and these lessons propels you towards greater heights. Embrace these lessons with an open heart and an open mind, and you will find yourself continually growing and enriching your life's journey. Remember, as Nelson Mandela said, I never lose. I either win or learn. If you feel that this is a message you connected with, I am very glad and happy that this will be the beginning of an extraordinary journey of transformation and empowerment for you. So remember that we have a date every Saturday. You can't miss the next episode in which I will be talking about the power of growth through life experiences. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that it brought some perspective as well as hope. If there is any particular topic you would like me to discuss, or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email at jessica.fuentes@empowered-selflove.com. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find me there as empowered.selflove. I also encourage you to visit my webpage, empowered-selflove.com, and explore more about what coaching is all about. In the Services tab, you can sign in for the free discovery session, which is only available on Wednesdays. During the discovery session, I will explain everything you need to know about coaching, the type of coaching I specialize in, and the packages I have available for you. You can find all the links on the episode's notes. Remember, if you like this content or thought of somebody that could benefit from it, please share it with your friends and family. Remember that we have a date every Saturday, and I can't wait for us to meet again. See you next week!